as Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK. What's the legacy? What did you do different for us?
Different?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I think the first thing we did as High Commissioner was to ensure, first of all, that the High Commission was serving the country, the whole commission, and not just myself. The High Commission itself was serving the country and acting in the best interest of our country abroad in the United Kingdom, and the Ghanaians dealing with and helping the Ghanaians in the diaspora as a whole, in the UK diaspora. So what we did is try and strengthen the bilateral relations with the United Kingdom, which goes back long before independence. Of course, they were our colonial masters, but we've been trying to build on the relationship. I mean, it hasn't gone sour, but we're trying to strengthen the relationship, and particularly in the area of economic development. So that was a critical point, building a relationship where we will be able to attract the best practices and investors to come into our country to create jobs and opportunities for the people of our country, so that our people don't sort of scatter and go abroad or elsewhere. So we had that as our primary agenda, is to sort of encourage investors. The UK or London, in that matter, being a major financial center of the world, it was easier to hold fora and stuff like that to encourage businessmen to come, and we were selling the positives of Ghana all the time and the opportunities that exist in our country, which they can take advantage of, and of course would help us even to our benefit as well. So that was the primary thing. And of course there were other aspects of relationships that we need to tackle, and that number two then was our own brothers and sisters who were in quite a large number in the United Kingdom, over 500,000 Ghanaians scattered all over the UK. This is the conservative estimate, because others don't want to be known that they are there, because they call them they're illegal. But we believe that it can go up to about 800,000 Ghanaians scattered all over the United Kingdom. So those we had to deal with, we had several issues, bulk of them probably from consular matters, which includes passports and visas and trouble with the law and all that,
Okay. Once you touch on that, then it brings to mind something that came up recently about some MPs who are taking visas to go to the UK, and there were some issues with the visa fraud and the like. You were there at the time when these people came in. What do you know about this?
Which people came in?
The MPs who had come with their relatives, some overstayed, some also had a certain change in identity. The details came out for which they...
I've seen the letter that went to the speaker.
The speaker, exactly.
You know, that I read it in the paper.
What do you make of it?
Well, first of all, I didn't know that they had entered the country, because they don't announce their visit except when they are an official business. Government ministers and members of parliament coming together as a group, but the people on private visits and things, normally we don't get to know. Now, it's a shame that it had to be put out there in the public domain. Of course, I couldn't control what the British High Commissioner would do. If I was sitting in London and something happened about some British people causing trouble here, and I'm authorized or mandated to issue a letter to the Foreign Office, for instance, I would do it, and it doesn't matter what they think about what I've done. So over here, I can't fault them that they wrote a letter to the speaker. My only concern is that it was leaked out to the press, and it became a public and ridiculed those members who, I don't know what they did. I don't have the fine details as to whether there was anything fraudulent. I mean, you could help somebody travel to UK, for instance, if you are in a position to do so, like guarantee the person's return, for instance, and it's given. You can do that. Anybody can do that. But when they refer to fraud, then it means either there were misrepresentations of some kind which influence the issuance of the visa. Now, if that is what the British High Commission is saying, then it should come out clear and say that the Member of Parliament misinformed the High Commission in issuing the visa. Then that's a big problem for the person who lied. Because you lie and then you get something, then it's fraudulent. But I don't know whether there was fraud in there. So there are issues here of who leaked it, why it should be leaked, but it leaked anyway. Was it fraudulent? And if it said yes, then why did you have to be fraudulent? That is it's a crime. So you would have tainted Parliament. Again, look at the legislature. Something like this, it's so embarrassing for the august House of Parliament, where we expect them to uphold morals and value, or Ghanaian values, but unfortunately, the true corruption of Parliament, and something like this happen. And it's a shame, seriously. That's all I can say. It's a shame. If you do the wrong thing, you've done the wrong thing. I mean, I sit in England, and if a Ghanaian commits a crime, we may be sympathetic to the person. I mean, there was a case where somebody came to me, I'll give this example, without mentioning names. He'd gone and killed somebody, a Ghanaian. And he ran away, and the police were looking for him. And he came to me in the High Commission. When he told me the story, I said, and he ran away? Why? You've gone to your lawyers, and lawyers have said, look, submit to because a human being has died. And you keep running. Even if you go to your country, they can bring you back because it's murder. He told me that no, he wasn't going to submit to the law, so he's going to run. I said, it's up to you, really.
And you let him go?
He left.
You let him go?
He was arrested 2 days later. What I'm saying is that you committed a crime. He says if he went in and they took him to the prison where he lives or something, the people there will torment him. The white people will torment him. He was giving me cock and bull. Look, your lawyer told you to go. You have lawyers who can fight for you if you think you didn't do what you... Because you were trying to tell me he didn't do what he had done. But in a country like Britain, with all the sophistication and everything, something happened on the streets, they would review videos and what have you, and they found him. So I wasn't... I mean, I can only advise a Ghanaian national to respect the law in our host country. You cannot disrespect the law. You get my point? So mine was to offer him a piece of advice to the gentleman, And I even spoke to the parents, and the parents said he should submit to the law
and face the law. Okay. One last thing that happened when you were High Commissioner. You remember the infamous Naa Ayele case?
We're talking about anything and everything. I thought we were talking about Ghana's. Now you're going
any and everything.
Okay, go ahead.
You remember?
I remember Naa Ayele's case.
Okay. What was your understanding of the time of that case?
That she had tried to bring in illegal drugs into the United Kingdom. That's what I knew.
Okay.
I never saw Naa Ayele. I don't know who she is.
Because there were some reports that she knew you directly.
Naa Ayele doesn't know me at all. I don't know who she is. You see, that's the problem. You see, people just see all manner of stories. They said I was at the airport to receive her, and that I'd gone there with one of the High Commission vehicles. I found that very strange.
It's not true.
It's not true. So what I did, when all this was being thrown about, I said, where is this coming from? So I decided to investigate. How come they are mentioning me and the High Commissioner, And we'll find out that a vehicle had gone there for a different person. The military attaché was coming back to base. The military attaché was coming back to base. So his car was there, and that had a D plate, a diplomatic plate. So that was why the vehicle was there. It wasn't because of Naa Ayele. Coincidentally, a Ghanaian had run into trouble, that is Naa Ayele, and the authorities had her. And indeed, they would not have spoken to me because she traveled on an Austrian passport. So they were dealing with an Austrian national until when they searched her bag, they found a Ghanaian passport. So then the law says you should inform the High Commissioner. So that's how come we were informed. okay, that there was a Ghanaian, somebody carrying a Ghanaian passport, you know. And so all I did was, and normally we extend a hand in trying to first of all see whether the person, the Ghanaian citizen, is being treated fairly or not fairly, or if the person sometimes has to take medication and being denied medication. So we send officials. I sent two of my officials from the consular section to go and have a chat with her in the cells, and they went and then they came back and we also reported back to Accra headquarters, and that was it really. I don't know Naa Ayele personally. I've never seen her. I never done anything for Naa Ayele, and that's how the story goes.
As we wind down on our conversation this morning, Mr. Victor Smith, two quick things I want us to talk about. The fight against Galamsey today, as we have it, there are suggestions that politicians have their hands very deep in it. What do you know about the Galamsey fight?
I cannot agree with the fact that they said politicians have their hands deep in it. If there's any politician who is engaging in illegal mining, you know, as opposed to small-scale mining, which is properly registered and official, if you are engaging in illegal mining, then I have a problem, and I don't think that you're doing the right thing. If you're a political person, you must be seen to be living above reproach. So if a politician or somebody thinks that politicians are involved, then it's his own view. But I can tell you that without laying blame at anybody's doorstep, the people out there in the rural areas, the actual operatives in the Galamsey business, are some of the poor people out there. They're like laborers, but they'll go there because it's easier for them, just like going to the farms. Nobody registered people to go and do farms. Did we? No, you can do your farm, you can help